Hey, everybody, thanks for tuning in. I'm Daniel, for those of you who don't know, and welcome to another episode of That's Life. And today, kind of wanted to tell you guys about my conversion. Is that what it is? My spiritual wake. How I came to Jesus. Okay, let's just call it that. Because it is a crazy story, man. And I know it's not popular. It's not the norm. It's actually a little weird. Even sometimes I still trip out on it because, well, our culture is very much against that. I feel, at least here in the United States, from what I see around the world, it is booming. But here, it's like, matter of fact, I had a date once. She was an older woman, and she walked up in my house, right? And she had her hands behind her back, and she's just investigating my house. And she's like, okay, okay. And she comes to my library, and I got a bunch of spiritual books, Bibles, and whatnot. I don't really read all of them. Don't judge, not the point. Either way, but I have them there just in case one day I do get the time to do that. But anyways, she had said, "What's with all the Jesus books?" Like with that face of disgust, and so I immediately went, "Oh no, we're going to have issues." And I said, "Why?" And then she goes, "That's weird." Anywho, so it's weird. The point is, it's weird, right? Um, Not a lot of people understand it, get it, or just think it's kooky and weird. And I get it; it is a little weird. We're talking about obeying someone who I've never seen face to face, who's never spoken to me audibly in that sense. And yet I try to, as best I can, and I do it horribly sometimes, follow what he says and tells me to do. And so it's just a little odd, but nonetheless. So a little background. I'm 29 years old. I'm about to turn 30. It's the beginning of the end. But you know what? Someone told me recently, when Jesus started his ministry? 30 years old. Boom. So there's hope. Um, Currently single, father of two kids. So just a little background in that regard. So I grew up in the church. Did I grow up in the church? I think we grew up in the church ever since I was 9. That's what I remember. I don't know how or why, but one day my dad just said, "Hey, we're going to church," and I loved it because there was other kids there. And then on Friday nights we'd have snacks and sports and stuff. So I mean, what are you gonna do? You'd rather be at the house? No. So I enjoyed it in that regard. But and anybody who knows me, I was the bad one. My family they were like, "Oh, there goes the Ariases," and they were mainly talking about me. And my pops, because my pops, well, he was a big old flirt in the church. He's a handsome man. He's a young man. He's not even, is he 50 or 49? But either way, he's one of those. He's a young man. And so we were the bad kids, never really took it seriously. But, you hear it every Saturday. And so you hear the stories and okay, okay, okay. And so I know what basically everybody in America knows. God has a son. His name's Jesus. He died on the cross, did his whole spiel for us. And that's how I saw it. It was just a thing, right? But it was never really, not having it. It's not, I can't wait till I grow up. And so I was always a little troublemaker, a little bad kid. I was always the one bringing all the bad outside influences to the church. I was the one bringing in rap and talking about girls, and I was the one messing around with all the girls. Yeah, that was me. And so, needless to say, church was not important in my life. And then what had happened was, at 18, I got a woman pregnant. And my father was so gracious enough to go, "Get out my house." And so he kicked me out my house. I went to go move in with her. And she lived in Watts. And so that was a weird transition for me because my pops, he built our house. We had always been in a nice neighborhood, nice house. And so to go from my dad's house to Watts, and I'm talking about, we were on 113th and Avalon, okay, straight projects, right in front of the railroad tracks. I mean, people were getting shot, left there, helicopter. I mean, literally boys in the hood. It was a joke. I could not believe it. And I hated it, right? I hated waking up 10 o'clock in the day and just watching Maury and Jerry Springer and all that garbage TV that's on in the morning if you don't have cable. And yeah, I just wasn't a fan. I was like, I gotta get out of here, yo. I gotta really get out of here. And so what happened was I saw this commercial that literally said, "Do you want to get away?" Right as I was having this thought, right? "Do you want to get away?" And I was like, "Yes." Do you want to serve? Do you want to travel the world? Yes, yes. Then call 1-800-GO-ARMY now. So I called. Fast forward, a month later, I'm in boot camp, and I'm like, what have I done? I mean, that's another story. That's another episode. Just how God saved me from that whole little scene because it was crazy. I've had a handful of people that I know that I went to basic with and was in the army with that have already died. God rest their souls. And I just always think back, man, that could have been my story, but it wasn't my story. So got out, came out, and my father never after I had my son, my dad never took me back in. He at that point in his eyes, I was a man. And he was never, which I love him for, by the way. At the time, you're angry. You're like, man, I'm a kid. Come on, man. You had 2 kids at 19 and 20. You gonna do me like that? Come on, pops. But he was just a hard man with his values and morals, which I very much love him for now that he did that because I wouldn't be who I am today. And yeah, man. So I started living on my own. I started renting rooms out and living with people and whatnot, and then just getting these weird odd jobs. And I had this season from 18 to about 24. 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 24. What was that? A couple of years? Not a math whiz, okay? Let me get a calculator. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. No, but and here was what I was wilding out, man. I was from 18 to 24. I had been arrested 6 times. I was a violent man. I was a very aggressive, violent man towards men and women. I know, back in the days. And I was also a drunk. I was highly promiscuous. I mean, just whoever. You let's rock it, man. And fast forward, I think it's April 2014. And here's how it happened. So I wake up one day from a hangover, nasty, okay? And I used to be, at this point, I could say that I was an alcoholic for sure, because I was drinking two 11s, these 40-ounce bum beers, right? And if anybody's drank a tall can of that, boy, that, and my body frame, although I am extremely powerful and muscular, it'll definitely rock you, right? And so I was having 2 of these. We'd play Edward 40 hands, and they taped these to my hands, and I couldn't touch anybody unless I drank these. So that was a daily thing, right? I used to get off of work at 11, and we'd just go straight to the bar. And so it was just this thing, and I could feel myself going down a weird path because I've never seen my father drink. My father never smoked. And so when you have that, and he raised us, by the way, he was a single dad. When you have a male figure in your life that just has these high principles and high honors, high standards, it's always going to convict you when you don't do that. It's just natural, right? So if I would drink, I'd be like, dang. Or I would feel shame because, I'm like, dang, my dad could do it. What about me? Look at me. I'm over here being all weak. And then, so April 2014, I wake up from a massive hangover. Some girl's panties is on the ground from the night before. I don't know who she was. All I know is that they were there. My drunken beer is right next to me. I grab it. I'm like, ugh. And it's just gross. I just remember feeling how gross I felt. And I put my head on my forehead. I put my hands in my head, and I'm just like, ugh. And I have this thought. So this thought just comes to my head out of nowhere. No, this can't be my life. This cannot be how I go down. And so I had this brilliant idea to YouTube what's the word? Testimonies. God, that was the world's longest pause. YouTubing testimonies. I wanted to hear, and not necessarily spiritual testimonies, because again, God to me at that point was to the back. I wanted to hear just drunks who, maybe got out of it, or drug addicts that got out of it, so I can go, okay, I'm not that bad. I think I was secretly trying to justify that I wasn't too bad and that there's other people worse than me, and so relax, go get another 40, you're fine. Breathe. Right? And I'm looking, and this weird video comes up on my video that has nothing to do with testimonies. It was called sorry, excuse me. I'm drinking what is this? Perrier? What is that? Bubble water? And actually it's not. I'm lying. Dang it, Lord, I'm gonna tell him. This is a Truly, okay? Because White Claws suck. But so I am looking at this video, and the video is called Jesus Loving Barabbas, right? Now, for those of you who don't know, I'm going to give you the bullet points real quick. It's you know Jesus is going to get persecuted, right? And they put him in front of the crowd, and then they say, who do you want to be set free? Do you want Jesus, the innocent man, to be set free? Or do you want Barabbas, the murderer, thief, liar, to be set free? And the crowd picked Barabbas. And you know the story. Jesus then gets crucified in the whole spiel. Anyways, I'm watching the video. It's 8 minutes. And mind you, and I know the story. There's nothing that I didn't know. Matter of fact, up to this point, I will say this. It was weird because because my dad was very into the Bible as a youngster. Like, my earliest memories of him was always him on the couch reading. It was either the Word or books on the Word. And so I took it upon myself to kind of have some knowledge of the Word, because I would kind of use it to just debate, because I just liked being right. And so never applied it to my life, but I did have some knowledge of the Word. But again, wasn't applicable, and I didn't follow anything that it was saying. It was nice to be able to have arguments with atheists and people and go, and I know here's why. But there was no real conviction of the heart. Anywho, and so I had known this story, and I'm watching it, right? And as the story's going on, I'm like bawling. Just straight bawling, like sobbing, okay? And here's what I can say to you guys about why I was sobbing. And I don't know if this will make sense, but here's the experience that I was understanding of what was happening. So the way that they were explaining this story to me, I don't know what it did inside of me or what happened, but I felt, now when I read the Word, now the Bible says that we were dead spiritually, right? And that he and he alone can awaken that spirit, right? Because I heard it like this. We're all dead, right? If we don't have Christ in our lives, we're dead men walking. If I told you, go to the cemetery, pick a tombstone, any tombstone, and do whatever you got to do to wake them up, what are you going to do? What are you going to yell? What song are you going to sing? Who are you going to bring with you to try to wake them up? You got no shot in waking up a dead man, right? And that's what the Bible says we are. We're dead men. And so if you really do get to open your eyes and then start to believe, that's a miracle, because you were dead. And while I'm watching this video, I can feel that that's what was happening to me. I was like, and I was able to see, and what blew me away was that I could not believe that this was real. Like the notion that God, right, the creator God of the universe, the one that goes, let there be, and the whole universe comes out. I could not fathom and just comprehend that he would decide to put skin and bones on, right? And then enter our space, leave that part, whatever that is, wherever that is, and come here, and then his feet would touch the ground that I walk on. Blew my mind. And it was just this weird, like, all reverence type spiel that I remember picking my feet up off the ground and going, I just didn't feel worthy of touching the same earth that he touched, and was blown away by it. Then I couldn't believe that he did all that. I'm like, it just rocked my world. Couldn't believe that I couldn't see it. And, you know, as I grew in that, I later find out in the Bible that the Bible says that he just awakens us spiritually. And that's just, it's exactly what happens. Nothing weird. No one talked to me. No one convinced me. It was just an awakening of my mind. And I just went and just believe. I just believed. That's it. That's it. And I haven't been able to shake him. And I've tried. Trust me, I've tried to shake him. I remember after that video was done, I'm shocked. I'm sobbing. I'm like, uh-oh, what does this mean? What does this mean? Does this mean that I gotta, I don't know, be a weirdo and just, you know, be that guy that we all, you know, white shirts and all that? I'm like, I'm not doing that, Lord. I'm not. And And I'm laying in bed for the whole day, wrestling. I'm not moving. I'm literally like, nope, I'm not, just wrestling with the fact that I can't accept you and, say, hey, Jesus, come in my life and all that. But then the wrestle was, do I pass this up? Like, because I couldn't see, and now I see, and it's going to be really hard to shake off what I just experienced. And needless to say, just his presence and who he was so compelling that I couldn't help but get on my knees and then go, look, I don't even know what I'm doing here. Just come on in, do what you got to do. I'm sorry. I surrender. Ask for forgiveness for who I was. Because listen, when you become aware that there is a God first, and then second, there's this word that I don't think our society's too familiar with, because I don't think you can apply it to anybody here on this side of the earth, and that's holy, right? Holy is this weird word that we don't really know how to verbalize or comprehend, and the best revelation that I ever received in regards to it is the sun. Let's take the sun, right? The sun, the one that warms us up. So the sun isn't inherently evil, right? There's nothing about it. But it's so powerful. And the closer you get to it, you'll get destroyed, right? And it's not that the sun tried to kill you. It's just how, it is. If that makes sense. And so to me, God suddenly became holy. The idea of holiness became real. And that's why I was like, you feel so dirty. You feel naked. You feel ashamed. That's why when you read the story of Adam and Eve and how they hid themselves, and they said that we were naked, and that's why we hid from you. Oh, I get it. Oh, you're just exposed. I don't know how to explain it, but when the knowledge of God comes into your life, right, there's no more secrets, right? I mean, you just totally feel like everything you do, even, you know what, I've had this thing where it's kind of funny where I'll think a thought and I'll try to forget that I'm like, no, I didn't say that, and pretend like I didn't think that thought, all the while knowing, he heard that. And so we're just laid bare before him. That's it. That's just what it is. And so at that point, you can't hide, you can't run. And I'm so thankful for that, because do you know how many times I ran from him since then? Whew. My feeble attempts to go, no. I'm done here. And you know what? Actually, I've been running from him actually since I was a kid, because backtrack. I'm at 24 is when I really just believed, but he had always been haunting me since I was a kid, because I've seen a lot of supernatural things in my life that I would try to pass off as just weird coincidences. One of the weird ones was when I was, it was the year that I was going to turn 21. It was the New Year's of that. I remember I was watching this documentary on science and stuff, and it came into my mind, oh my God, God is fake. This is a joke. My parents are idiots. And I literally got up and did a little leprechaun dance, like, woohoo, did that little kick, and was all like, yes, he's not real. And then I suddenly in my head said, so don't talk to me. do you see the irony in that? Don't talk to me. And then try to suppress the knowledge of him throughout that entire year. Here's the funny part about that year. I went to jail 6 times that year. Wait, 5 times. 5 times that year, 6 times in total in my whole life. Another story, another day. There's a miracle there. But anyways, 5 times that year. Funny enough, I spent my 21st birthday in jail. And I just remember I'm eating my cereal 3 a.m. in my cell. 6 other people. Shocked. I was on my way to work and I get arrested. I'm eating my cereal and I just hear God in my heart say, how's your year going? And see, to me, I love that God is not, he's not, listen, I think there's so many stigmas about him that he's just this, and he's not personal. Like, listen, if God is the creator of everything, you got to understand that he invented humor. So if humor is a real thing in our side of the world, that means that he has that. He's funny. He's a funny guy. And so God has never looked at me or talked to me and been like, You see. He's never thrown anything in my face, which is why it's hard to not love him because he's so dang good. It's unreal. He would just talk to me so subtly and then have me see my issues. Kind of like when if you have kids, right, and they're trying to do something that they don't know how to do, you want to let them go through the mistakes and then see how to do it, right? There's a joy in that as a father to watch your son figure something out, as opposed to always holding them by the hand. Imagine my dad was still holding me by the hand. That'd be annoying, right? And so I think God's the same way when it comes to us being aware, because when you're fully aware of your mistakes and stuff, then true change can happen. Because if people are just constantly telling you and you're changing because people are telling you to, but you don't believe it, you're going to keep doing it. And so, so I was 21. But anyways, back to 24. I do that a lot, but stick with me. Back to 24. I couldn't deny it anymore. I couldn't ignore the fact that he's very real, very aggressive, very he was very much in pursuit of me, you know. And I locked myself in my room for a week. I didn't go to work. I didn't go out to eat, nothing. I lived with these two older ladies. At the time, they lived in one room and I lived in one room. And not looking back on it, it's so funny because they were Christian ladies. They would never talk to me about God, nothing. But every time they'd open the door, Grandma would be there opening her Bible. And here's the weird part, provision. So I locked myself in my room. I'd get super hungry, but I didn't have no money. I was broke because I wasn't going to work, and I worked on pure commissions. I used to do door-to-door sales. And I'd open my door, and every time the grandma would be at my door with a massive plate of food. And I'd be like, what? She was like, I just felt like you were hungry. I haven't seen you out. And I'd take the plate of food. I'd thank you, close the door, sobbing. Because what was happening was I had locked myself in my room for a week, and I was just digging. I was just digging in here, digging online, digging everywhere, and going, how did I miss this? How did I not see this? Oh, I just couldn't believe it. Couldn't believe it. Anyway, so after about a week, and then just being reassured that what I had experienced was real, and what I had become aware of was real, I went back to work on fire. Just, y'all know the Lord. Like, I really became that weird dude. I did. I was just on it for him, man. And everybody who would listen, I'd be like, hey, man, you know Jesus? Like, I just became that dude. I became that dude. And, you know, we're about to turn 30 now. And, you know, look, anybody who's walked with God knows that our walk is like this, right? It's like this. It's just always like this. And there's highs and lows. And there's been many times since then that I failed him multiple times horribly. But yet God has always been faithful, and he's just continued to pursue after me. And, you know, he's brought me to this point here that we're at now. And I just felt the need to want to share because, man, I think if I'm going to be honest with you, this is it, bro. It's the end of the world, man. I got, what times are we living in, yo? This is weird, man. This is, and listen, and if you don't know why it's weird, it's because you ain't read the word. But if you read the word, what's happening right now was told to us 2,000 years ago. That's weird. Okay. And so I can't help but feel like, if there's ever a time to go all out for your faith, it's got to be now, man. It's got to be now. We got to really just quit being ashamed and just weirded out by it, right? Because, listen, when this is all over, and it is going to be over, whether you like it or not, and I hope that when I say that and you don't have God in your life, that you get nervous. Because, check this out. The word says that the beginning of wisdom, I'm going to say it back. That fear of the Lord, right, is the beginning of wisdom. So you want to be wise. You want to, because you know there's a difference between wisdom and knowledge, right? There's a very big difference between, because I can know all the facts in the world, but if I do nothing with those facts, it means nothing. Wisdom is being able to take that knowledge and apply it. And so And when we say fear, listen, there is a healthy fear that needs to be in your life when we talk about God. And I know that people don't like that because you want to believe that God is this loving God and he likes to sprinkle love dust on everything and he going to accept you no matter what. And all those things are true and amen, right? But the fear that the Bible's talking about when it says that fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom is the same type of fear that you feel, that you would feel if you were in front of a bear. The bear's not evil. The bear's not sitting there plotting, how can I kill you? How can I make your family go bankrupt? The bear is just going to do what it's going to do because it's that. And its power and who it is just makes you go, so you get what I'm saying? So it's not like if I was stuck in a room with a mass murderer, that fear is different because there's intent behind that. But this fear that is talking about here is just, listen, you're dust, yo. Who are you? Who are you? In the grand scheme of just our planet, not even the universe. Have you seen the photos from NASA? Do you not ever go, do you know what? You don't think it's a coincidence that people, when they go on vacations, they go to exotic places, they go to the mountains, they go to things to kind of reset or, get back in touch with whatever? The Bible says that when you're doing that, what you're really doing is worshiping in your heart, right? Because the Bible says that that the heavens declare the glory of God. And so when you're looking at sequoia trees or you're on top of a massive mountain or you're looking at the ocean and you're hearing the waves and you're in awe, you're worshiping the creation, what God has created. Not worshiping, excuse me. No, yeah, worshiping. Not worshiping in terms of and some people do worship it. People be talking about moon rocks and all these little weird things. And I'm not talking about the weed, relax. I know my potheads went, moon rocks, yeah, moon rocks. I'm talking about people that are into crystals and all these little things. And that's a little bit weird because you're taking creation itself and you're looking to it to give you answers or to help you in some way. And what I'm saying is when you're at the edge of the Grand Canyon, you feel small, right? You feel small. And I think our soul needs that and likes that because it reminds us that there is something bigger than us. 100%, man. 100%. And so there has to be a healthy fear within you for you to be able to even get to the point where you would consider this. Because listen, if you don't even want to wrestle with this, man, I'm nervous for you, yo. I'm nervous for you first and foremost because the word says it's a scary thing to fall into the hands of an angry God, right? And do know that God gets angry. You know this, right? I mean, that it's ridiculous to think that God is all love and that's it. Because check this out. Great love no. Let me see. Let me word this right. Great love brings about great anger. Here's how. I used to be a violent man, but not to the point where I would kill somebody. I've always been very aware that I'm not trying to go to jail, right? I like my freedom a little bit too much. But I remember when my daughter was born and I held her, right? And I was like, oh my God, I can kill someone. What? If anybody hurt this, I could kill someone. What happened? My great love for her brought about this ability to be able to be wrathful. And so God is great love. But the opposite of that is that he's very just. And he does get angry with injustices. And you don't think that us as a blasphemous creation stir in him anger? Come on, that's ignorant. I mean, how many times, if you really think about how twisted the world is and how against him they are, you know what I mean? Because we've all seen the shift in culture and the shift in mindset and how just twisted and weird. I mean, look at the politics just everything, man. Everything is just so beep, right? I mean, and I'm just like, whoa. But anyway, so first off, like I said, if you don't have him in your life, I'm nervous for you for that. Secondly, I'm sad for you because, man, life with God, beautiful. Listen, when you have a relationship with him, right? When you have faith in him, it just takes everything to levels that don't hit the ceiling when you don't have him. I'll give you an example. So there's things that are called common grace, and the word says that he makes it rain and the sunshine on both the evil and the good. And so you as a non-believer, you can enjoy sex. Great glass of wine, amazing steak, good friendships. But what will happen is you're going to hit a ceiling on that. Okay. To the believer, man, when we enjoy a good piece of steak, that rolls up past into worship of God, because I go, oh my God, thank you for letting me enjoy this steak. And now I can't even believe that he made these flavors. And I'm just, or when you have sex, right, with your spouse. I mean, I know I'm not the only one that has been, in that act and literally been like, God, I cannot believe you made this. This is genius. Like, whoo! Man, come on. He's such a good God, man. He is not a killjoy. And I think that's what people think about him, because when I thought that to follow God was to just follow this set of rules that constantly just kept you from all the things that are fun, like having a couple drinks, having good sex with all these things. But no. Listen, again, he's the creator of everything. His is his design. And so if it's his design, his idea, then he and he alone is allowed to set the boundaries and the instructions for us to be able to maximize our joy. And so when you think about it, listen, the rule, anything he says don't do, it's not because he's trying to rob from you. He's trying to give to you something. He's saying, listen, if you don't rob and steal and do all these things, you'll avoid jail, right? Right? If you're not a hoe, you're not going to get heartbroken. You're not going to get STDs. You're not going to get these things. He's saving us from something. And people who have beautiful marriages, I've seen it, man. I've seen some beautiful marriages, and they make you want it. You go, I'm about to be 30 years old. I live by myself, and I got 2 cats, and I'm like, this is some bullshit. Like, it's ridiculous, man. There's so many times I've had the opportunity to do things right, and I just chose to do things my own way, and it has never worked out for me, yo. Never. Anytime I do things my way, it no bueno. And so I hope that you guys can, just wrestle with that, man. Wrestle with that and go, Lord, are you real, man? Come on, show yourself. Because I promise you this. Listen, if you ask him, look, you got to humble yourself, man. There's something about you being able to get to that point. And I don't get why it's so hard. Look, just try it. It's just you in secret. It's just you in secret. Don't start thinking about everything you got to give up. Let that work itself out later. Let's get to the first part where you believe, where you actually meet him, right? And not face to face. And some people have met him face to face. Man, there's some crazy stories out here about people who have met him and whatnot. Yeah, man, we're about to turn 30 years old. God's continued to be faithful. He does not change. He continues to be good. He continues to show himself trustworthy in my life. And I continue to let him down. And when I say let him down, that's my own perception of it, right? Because you got to know this, that when God died, when Jesus died for us, right? All the sins, all the mistakes that I keep making, they were all in the future when he died. He knew I was going to make all of these mistakes. So there's not a future version of me that he loves. He loves me right now as I am, right now. He loves you right now as you are, dumb and all, stupid and all, foolish and all. And he goes, right now. And what's weird about that is there's nothing like the emotion of gratitude. If you really think about it, right? There's a lot of emotions out there. There's happiness, there's joy, there's laughter, there's all these things. But there's nothing like gratitude. And when you actually have a relationship with him and you become aware of what he's done for you, of what he continues to do for you, it's overwhelming and it's hard. It's hard to not want to please him. And you know what pleases him? Faith. The word says that it is impossible to please God without faith. Impossible. I wish it said, man, impossible. You know what the word impossible means? Impossible. And so all it takes is you being able to believe that he's real, that he can do things for you, that and not as a butler. Let me say that. Let me be very clear, okay? Because I don't rub a lamp and go, hey, Larry, you gotta do this. I don't ring a bell. Never. Oh my God. I make my requests known, and God will always answer me with this: yes, no, or wait. That's it. He does say make your request known, which I'm so thankful that he gives us that provision, because sometimes we want weird things, and I'm so, I think I'm more grateful for unanswered prayers than for prayers that have been answered, because I've asked for some stupid stuff. I'll give you the smallest example of this. It's so stupid, but do you guys remember when Fast and the Furious came out? You remember what car everybody wanted? A Honda Civic. When I was a kid, I said, when I get up, I'm gonna get a Honda Civic. It's high, clutch, double clutch, take out the back seats. And now I'm like, I'd be embarrassed. And so what I'm trying to say is, we don't know what we want, man. You make your request known, he'll handle the rest. And you gotta have faith that he has your best intentions at heart. And when you believe him in that, oh man, you can just breathe. And that's why I'm able to live my life so confidently right now in the midst of this chaos, because this is chaotic, yo. This is straight bananas, and I get so much crap for it, because I just choose to not live in fear. And some people are like, oh, that's it, man. Whatever. Listen, we're gonna disagree on everything. That's just what it is. But here's what I've chosen to believe. I've chosen to believe that God is sovereign. That means that he's in control of everything. That God will not allow anything that he does not want to happen. And that nobody dies early. And so because of that, I'm going to live in confidence. And I feel that I'm indestructible until it's my time. And that could be tomorrow. And I'm not afraid. That's the crazy part. I'm not afraid. The older I get, I'm so thankful for this. The older I get, the more sure that what I believe is real. The more. And listen, I've had so many people try to give me their different viewpoints and stuff, and I'm very open. I love talking to people outside of my faith. I love hearing what they got to say. And when I hear what they've got to say, all it's done is reinforce my faith in them, because truth is truth, baby. And there's nothing like it. And there's only one person in all religion who didn't say what truth was, but who said, I am the truth. That's so cold-blooded. He's so dang good. There's no one like him. Ain't no one like him. There's no one like him who's made a claim like him. I mean, who says that? You will not get to the Father, but there be no one. Can he have a little provision? Some people may. Nope. Got no shot. And so with that, that's a bold claim. Listen, just be logical for 2 seconds, okay? Either the man who made these claims was bat crazy, or he was telling the truth. You got two. There's only two options. There is not a third option. I know people want to try to disprove and discredit and blah, 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 blah. But here's what's weird, man. 2,000 years later, and I'm in Downey, California, other side of the world, talking about Jesus. And you know how this started? With 12 people in Israel. All the way over there. And he told them, go. Ends of the earth. That's crazy, yo. That's crazy. So I believe that I'm going to just take him at his word. And listen, and if I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. Oh, well. I died trying to be a good person. Sue me. You're wrong? Say what? I don't know. I mean, I do know, but I think you know too, so I'll just let you wrestle with that. And so that's why I've chosen to continue to believe in him, and I'm just going to continue to share videos on my perspective on things, because I think God has given me a unique perspective when it comes to things that are going on in the world right now. And I'm very open. I'm very outspoken. And I don't know why, dude. It's weird, because there's a lot of people that have a lot of opinions, but they won't say nothing. They'll stay quiet. They won't. And for some reason, he compels me to say something. And I can't keep my mouth shut. And I'm like, okay, well, then if we're going to do this, then let's rock and roll. And so I got a mic. You're here listening, and we'll just see what he does, man. But But what's my goal? What's my overall goal in doing all this? I guess my desire would be that those of you who don't believe would come to faith in him. Secondly, that maybe we become a little bit informed with the times that we're in, because we are in some weird times, y'all. And if you want to downplay that, then you are way too distracted and you need to shut off Netflix for a bit, because we're running out of time. And I'm not an alarmist, but I'm definitely saying, the little sand thing? It's like on the end. And I'm excited. I'm excited, Joe. Let's wrap this up, Papa. Take me. Let's roll. Let's roll. Bring whatever's gotta go, but let's bring this to a close, man. I'm tired of paying bills. I'm tired. Man, I'm tired. Life is beautiful. I love life. Life is amazing. I mean, there's what's not to love about life? Huh? Food, laughter, good friendships, love. Oh my God. Come on now. Food, love, and music are probably my top 3 right there. But it's been fun, man. It's been an amazing journey just walking with him up to this point, and I look forward to it every day to see what he's going to do, because he does something every day, because he's so full of just creativity and just wanting to. He doesn't run out. So sometimes people have an experience with God once upon a time, and they go, "Oh God, let me feel that again." And you know what? That's so small, I think. What I like to do is more. Let me get more. Because he doesn't run out. I run out. I run out of ideas. I get sleepy. He neither sleeps nor slumbers. He's just on. And he loves to create. He's a creator God. And so every day he's creating these scenarios and where we can experience him and walk with him and share him. And it's lovely, yo. Life with him is truly lovely. I hope that this was able to encourage some people. Hopefully it's made some people think, maybe wrestle with it. And you got any questions, man, you guys feel free to reach out. Let's have a conversation. I will meet you, okay? Okay? Because I'm not afraid. And man, come on. We need to have this, we need to have fellowship with one another, man. This is weird. Listen, if I was a devil, divide and conquer, that's how I would work this. And what do you think we are right now? Divided, and we're getting conquered. 100%. Right? Because, I mean, we're so polarized and everybody's so aggressive, and I'm just like, ugh, it's annoying. So I think human-to-human relationships are the way we were designed, the way we were built, and it's unnatural to not have them. And so if you want to discuss this in person or do it, let's have it. I mean, let's do it. You're welcome to come to my house. I'll make dinner. If you're a female, another man needs to be here, because that's just not wise. I'm still working on myself. And if you're a dude, come on over. If you're gay, you're still welcome to come on over. And yeah, man, let's just have a discussion. Life's beautiful, man. This is, you know what? I hate that people can't share ideas no more. People get so offended. They're like, man, this country was founded on people being able to share ideas, and it's becoming a rare thing now. So, yeah, man. Thanks for listening, and hope you enjoyed that. It was true. There was nothing that false. I did try to hide the fact that I was drinking water, but it's right, though, because God exposed his liars. And he's like, no. Come on, let's be honest, son. Come on. Don't be holier than that, because I'm not holier than that, okay? I'm far from it. Working in progress. I'm not who I used to be, which I'm very thankful for, because, again, I'd probably pick you up by your neck. But not anymore. You know? Now the worst you'll get from me is I'll probably raise my voice a little bit, and depending on how heated our argument gets, I push you. No, I'm just kidding. But like I said, yep, thanks for tuning in, and look forward to the next one. I'm out.